Hello folks, welcome to Epic Flail. We are absolutely delighted to be back after a fun little Christmas break. Welcome Luke, my friend, and welcome you, the viewer, those of you that are joining us live and those of you that are not joining us live. If you are joining us live, this is going to be... I'm excited about this show, Luke. I've been thinking about this one a lot over the past few days. I'm excited for it, folks, because it's a bit controversial.
It's a good
and
one.
We like controversial. I like a little bit of controversy. I'm in the mood for controversy, boys, and I'm armed with my favourites, a few Madries to enjoy, because the car's got a flat tyre, so we'll be enjoying ourselves, having a few lagers, my friends. Welcome to Epic Flail. Delighted to be joined by my friend Luke Vincent, a.k.a. Geppetto, a.k.a. Jimmy the Fixer. Is one of his many names that he goes by.
That is true, yep.
Do you like that? We just always fixing.
I am, yeah, crafting.
You're always little tinkering. Telly said to me last night, he should give you, like, just something to just build. You know what I mean? And, like, that'd be quite a good, just like, there you go, mate. Just give you, like...
Just start assembling
And he
things.
just starts, like, in the corners, like...
Yeah. Any models you don't want to be building, just send them my way.
Send it into the show. So thanks for joining us, folks. We're going to be talking, we're going to go in head first in the new year into the murky waters of Warhammer 40,000 lore and controversy. There's quite a few videos about this at the moment. We've been inspired by people doing videos saying that Games Workshop have put Femstodes in the bin and they've gone anti-woke and there's all this stuff. So we're going to go headlong into that. And for those of you that are our lovely members, after this show, our member shows are going to be more structured this year. We're going to have subjects that we go in and look at, and they're going to be subjects which probably shouldn't be on YouTube. So, in fact, it was Magical Zonky in the chat, top lad, who sent us a few links and was like, this might be an interesting subject for the show. And it involves real life stories of people using bodily fluids and parts on their models. It is truly bizarre. Some of the stories in there are absolutely wild. So we're going to do that as a members show straight after this one. But on this show, we're going to get into the murky Femstodes waters. Welcome everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You still saying Happy New Year to people, Luke?
Ho, ho, ho. No.
Are you still ho-ho-hoing? Oh shit, you're still ho-ho-hoing?
Yeah, no, I'm not that nice, really. I'm just...
You're not, are you?
I just sort of go, yeah. I don't... If I can avoid talking to people at work, I do.
Really? Isn't it your job to talk to people about it? Come on, use it
Chin
clean.
chin.
Lads, crack yourself a beer, get you comfy at home. That's a satisfying noise, isn't it? Get yourselves, get the Madry. We're not sponsored by Madry yet. It's only a matter of time, Luke. With a subject like this, it's only a matter of time before they come running. Can I...
This chap looks familiar, doesn't he? A little bit of the...
It looks like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
What, you think it looks like someone at the club?
I was going to say American Liam.
American Liam! We've got a few new features on today's show as well. We've got a new soundboard. Yeah. We've got some new soundboard sounds, and if anyone at any point super chats, something very bizarre may happen.
You've been very busy.
Busy doing I've been busy doing all the things I probably shouldn't be doing. It's like random stuff. Right.
You had a nice Christmas, New Year.
Yes, mate. Yeah, good. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice time away.
Yeah, intense.
We had a little break, didn't we? Sort of as a Chanel.
We did have
and it's
the Chanel.
Nice to be back.
Isn't that a perfume?
Yeah.
The Chanel.
That's good. It's good to have a break and rest. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's good, mate. I feel refreshed and recharged, and I'm happy to be doing a live show again. I've missed doing some live shows, to be honest. I'm looking forward to causing some chaos in the members stream as well. Oh, please like and subscribe. If you enjoy the video, give us a like and let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're in the chat, do get involved in this one, because I feel like it's going to be a good one to break down. So the way me and Luke are going to do this is we're going to zoom out a little bit and give some background as to what on earth has happened with this whole like Femstodes discussion, like what's gone on.
Yeah.
Because there is a little bit of a time, just changing. I'm going to multitask, it's unbelievable. There's a little bit of a history and a backstory. So I want to get everybody up to date, set the scene, and then we're going to talk about what does Games Workshop really care about? Do they care about ideology? Do they care about something else? And also, we're just going to have a light-hearted discussion around the people that do care.
Yep.
And ask why.
Yeah.
Some of them. Good. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. So, it all started. We should have like a, I don't know, like a little background. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I've not even put the studio mode on. We're straight into it. Look. Can people just appreciate my thumbnail as well?
Top tier thumbnail.
Yeah? Does everyone get the thumbnail? It's Taylor Swift. I'm lying on the cold hard... Okay. That's what we're doing in the members show. It all began, my friends, with this statement that Games Workshop released in the 2020s. Do you remember the 2020s, Luke, before COVID?
Yeah, just about. I couldn't believe this is almost 4 years old, if not actually more than 4 years old now.
Does it make you feel old?
It does. My creaking knees whenever I stand up make me feel old as well. But yeah.
Was it a simpler time in 2020 Warhammer wise, do you think?
Yeah.
You think so?
Probably.
So they brought this out. Do you remember there was kind of like, we're not going to get into this bit of it, but there was a lot of chat online about people that were going to events and like wearing particular clothing and kind of saying particular things. And I remember there was a bunch of Reddit threads of someone like turning up to a Warhammer event wearing all sorts of not appropriate clothing. So this kind of statement came out. It was Warhammer is for everyone. One of the great powers of our hobby is its ability to bring people together in common cause, to build tools and friendships that cross divides. I just drank so much Madry in a short space of time, I apologise. We believe in a support and community united by shared values of mutual kindness and respect. I absolutely love the first bit of this statement, by the way, because that is the best thing about Warhammer that you will ever. Brings people together.
It's cheesy as it says. This is something you've actually said before, without this being a GW statement, and you going, yeah, that sounds nice. You have actually said as much in other shows.
I've said this a few times, haven't I? And actually, what I like about Warhammer is it does actually bring people together that might not come together and maybe do disagree with each other.
But that is what
the game. The game gives you a forum by which who cares? Like who cares about your political opinions? Let's play a fun game and interact with each other, and let's realise it doesn't really matter what people think. It just matters that they're good, normal men and want to hang out and like have a good time with you. Anyway, having said that, we are going to delve into we're kind of going into some of that in detail. Our fantasy settings are grim and dark, big time, but that is not a reflection of who we are or how we feel the real world should be. We will never accept or condone any form of prejudice, hatred or abuse in our company or the Warhammer hobby. We will continue to diversify the cast of characters we portray through miniatures, art, storytelling, so everyone can find representation, heroes they can relate to. That's the whole, like, PS. It's satire, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we know. We realised it's satire. Like, don't Imperial Guard eat human flesh?
They've been known to do that occasionally.
I mean...
Pretty desperate times.
If that's you can never take it too seriously.
Well, look at Drakari. I mean, everything about Drakari is a little bit not safe for work.
Looney WH, is this like a rogue version of Looney? Is this like a new Looney that's emerged?
Oh, no, there's more than one. I don't think we can cope with
it. We can't be doing with more than one. It's more than one Looney. And if you feel the same way, wherever and whoever you are, we're glad you're part of the community. If you're not, you will not be missed. There is some irony in having a statement that says Warhammer is for everyone and then saying it's not for everybody. But, you know, the people that I guess are pro-prejudice. And who's pro-prejudice and hatred as well? That's like... who's seen that statement of going, damn it, I was really big on the prejudice and hatred element of this... of this hobby. Anyway, they released that in 2020. A simpler time, everybody.
Femstodes on deck.
And then Femstodes rocked up. We had Freemania, all right, matey? Good to see you. And then April 2024, that absolute god-awful book came out. Do you remember how rubbish it was? The Custodes book. No, just like the models.
Oh, the book.
It was awful.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
I've still got my unpainted Custodes sat at home. Just sat there doing absolutely nothing. If anyone wants to buy a Custodes army, give me a shout. So then Femstodes turned up on deck and they introduced a character name, which Luke's going to read out.
I was going to say that to you, but you beat me to it. I'm going to give it a go. Caladis Toravalier.
Caladis Toravalier Kesh.
Toravalier. There you go.
That was the first ever explicitly female custodian referred to with female pronouns. Female fans were immediately divided. And then, shortly after, they released the whole Warhammer official. Since the first of the 10,000 were created, there have always been female custodians.
We've always been there.
Yeah. They've always been there, lads. We just haven't made any of the models of them. They've always been around. We just haven't really made them.
Talked about them.
But correct me if I'm wrong, because my law knowledge is absolutely abysmal. But aren't Sisters of Silence female custodians?
They're female.
I mean, are they not like Adeptus Custodes? They're in the Adeptus Custodes book.
They go through a different thing. I think they're like a very anti-psyker things. Because in one of the Horus Heresy books, not that I'm going to say too much about it because spoilers.
Spoil it. Go on. I'm joking.
They deploy them alongside the custodians to.
Oh, they're the mind women. I know all about these lads. I know all the.
What a wonderful sentence. They're the mind women. I know all about these lads.
What I think they do, they have the mind fields that means if you're near them, you get a headache if you're a psychic.
Yeah, your nose starts bleeding a bit. Yeah.
Is that right? Oh. That's what they do. That's why they're called the Sisters of Silence, because they shut you up if you're a psychic.
And they don't speak. This is like a double.
What, they don't even chat?
No. They have this cant.
It's not very, female-like.
No.
Uh-oh. Sexism.
2 feet.
So just joking. Men are awful. So everyone's awful.
Yeah.
So there were female Adeptus Custodes.
There were females in the ranks of that and adjacent to it. When you get knee deep in the lore, it's like a level of genetic engineering and above that of a space marine, and it's supposed to be quite hardy to become a space marine anyway.
I read a thing that one Custodes could like take over Worthing. I read this thing and it was like,
I thought you were going to say like a planet or like
Worthing. I did think about it in my head because I read in the law like just one custodian guard could conquer an entire town or city, and I thought that's interesting because like, would you just run around the town like shouting at people? You'd need more than one.
Yeah, it's one of those.
You'd be like, you can't be everywhere.
No.
Charging about, shouting at everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody inside. So then people pulled up like, just imagine it though, because they are quite big, aren't they? And Worthing's not that big.
Not really, no.
They'd have to have like one of the bikes, I think, and just fly around with a megaphone. Because people would I think about stuff like that. So then people pulled this up. It's known that people then started pulling up all the lore from back in the day. This is from the 7th and 8th edition codex. It's known that custodians began their lives as the infant sons of noble houses, and then entire generation of newborn sons. So people then were like, if there were always female custodians, why is all the literature about them? I mean, it's obviously made up, saying sons. But they doubled down and then put something on the Warhammer website that I thought was quite interesting. You want to pronounce that one, Luke? That's a good one.
Tyrith Shiva. Kyrus. That wasn't too bad.
That was all right, that one. The first 3 of a long list of honorific names and fighting for the Emperor has the privilege of being our first portrayal of a female custodian guard since the recent revelation that custodians can be any gender. This fact came as a real surprise to many, since it wasn't something that's previously explored. It was a surprise because it is something that it's not been previously explored. It's not been a thing.
Clumsy to suggest it wasn't explored when it's like it actually didn't.
Yeah. Fancy that, we've just explored this, look over here. That in of itself isn't a particularly unusual thing for Warhammer 40,000 and its lore. There are simply loads of things that the Warhammer Studios have never expressly stated, whether that's ruling them in or out. So they kind of doubled down and said, come on, they've always been around.
Yeah. Where were you looking? They've always been there.
Sora said, I think that GW post was in response to a guy who went to a tournament in Spain. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I just didn't want to say the N-word. No, not that N. Oh,
yeah,
you know what I mean? The algorithms, lads. We've got to look after the algorithms. Then a fabulous game came out that a bunch of us have played on the Discord together. Spesh Marine 2. And it's safe to say that went down unbelievably well. There's people that we know that have started playing 40k just because they came across this game and loved this game.
Yeah.
Went down an absolute treat. People loved it.
It's awesome.
And the assumption with Space, let's just give people some full screen. You want some full screen, boys? I'll give you full screen. The assumption from many was that it was, and I don't know about this, it was kind of like anti-woke. So I've seen a bunch of videos on this. And it's basically people going, Games Workshop went down this woke virtue signalling route and were like, oh, female custodians exist, etc., etc. And then Space Marine 2 came out and they absolutely killed it. Like they're on the FTSE 100 now, aren't they? Games Workshop. I think there's like literally peak Games Workshop. Yep. They're doing better than they ever have done.
Every time someone brings it up, I have this pang of regret that I didn't buy stocks.
Did you not buy stocks?
No.
Neither did I.
So well done if you bought stocks.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, well done. So Games Workshop absolutely killed it with Space Marine 2, and there's this perception that it was like anti-woke, masculine, blah, 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 blah. So then what happened, my friends, this is where it got a bit spicier, is then this book comes out of a Christ Mass, which we've all recently, most of us have celebrated. It says that custodes come from brotherhoods, and it's got language in there that suggests that custodes are all of a male gender, and it was written by Gav Thorpe, who's like a law king.
Yep.
Law king.
Law king
sounds like some kind of monster. Law king.
Yeah.
You're a law king. Which didn't go down too well. People found him on Blue Sky and started asking him,
what's Blue Sky?
Blue Sky is this place you go if you don't want anyone to disagree with you. It's like... It's a social media platform for people who don't want to hear anybody else.
Okay.
It's an alternative to Twitter, basically.
Gotcha.
Some people have been using it as a sanctuary from Twitter. I don't know what it's like over there.
I don't even have
I think there's quite... to be fair, I do think there is quite a lot of the Warhammer crowd that went over there.
Interesting.
I saw them tweeting about it months ago, being like, see me on Blue Sky, whatever, and then they've stopped tweeting, so I imagine they're over there chatting away.
Fair.
So someone said to him, just confirming, because of all the ruckus with the DK book, female custodians are still part of Warhammer, correct? And he said, yes, of course they are. Not every miniature is included, and I don't recall exactly, but we may have already finished that section when the series/miniature went public. So his kind of position is, yeah. And he doubled down on it a little bit more and talked about it on Blue Sky and basically said the book was written before GW reaffirmed the position around custodes.
Yeah.
And
that just shows you how far in advance their release schedules are as well.
Yeah, I reckon they're way ahead. But and this is where the discussion that gets up to date, and this is where people have been discussing what's gone on here. Like, have Games Workshop changed their mind off the success of Space Marine 2 and said, well, actually, we do need to go back on this, because it's called the Ultimate Guide, I think. Is it the Ultimate Guide, chat? That he's written. It's in Waterstones. I've seen it in Waterstones.
Is it an official GW publication?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's massive. It's like this massive law book.
Interesting.
Little side on shot, lads, just so you can see how tidy the desk is. It's basically a book of like a mega law book with like all the factions in and a detailed write up on them.
Oh, cool.
So some people have been saying this is evidence that GW have changed their mind and gone backwards off the back of Space Marine, and other people are saying, oh no, they literally just wrote that book before. It's no different, and it's created this whole discussion and debate around it.
Feels like people trying to see what they want to see in things that might not be there.
Yeah, I feel like this happens a lot with most things in the world, that people just find the thing. People just repeat over and over again the thing that they want to be true rather than the thing that is actually true.
Brotherhood reminds me of the Brotherhood of Steel, and I'm pretty sure...
What's the Brotherhood of Steel?
In Fallout, there's a faction called the Brotherhood of Steel, and I'm pretty sure there are women in the Brotherhood of Steel.
Don't bring Fallout into it, Luke. We don't want to open another...
But like...
another whole can of worms.
I get it's got very male connotations to it with being Brotherhood, but like how... Language is funny, right? Like...
Yeah, language is funny. I think it's appropriate to just like fire shots at everybody in this discussion and debate, because like some of the videos that I've seen, there's this one guy in particular who like is absolutely convinced. He's doing like video after video that's getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Who is it?
I can't remember. I'm going to say his name wrong. It's this guy that... No, I don't want to say actually, because he's like super aggy. And he's convinced that there's this like big civil war going on at Games Workshop, and that there's this like woke brigade and anti-woke brigade, and it's come to a head, and like does
he get a little bit of like a neck vein popping out with his like...
Well, you don't see, because the way he does his video, you don't actually see his face. He's like wears a mask.
He wears a what?
He wears a mask.
Oh my god, you're gonna have to...
I'll show you after. Yeah. I'll talk about it on the members show, but like he fully he wears like a full-on mask.
Right, fair play.
I find this whole thing... I find every person that's got like a stake in the game a bit...
Do you see why I don't talk to people at work?
What, you're not enjoying talking to me?
No. People, like,
the world's
full of nutcases, isn't it? Like, just like... Why are you getting angry about it? Like,
I get the like. Me and you were chatting about this the other day, or we were texting each other about the other day. Look, I'm red. Why do I look so red? Am I actually that red? I need to put like an anti-red filter on the thing. There is like a little bit of a turnaround going on, I think, with a lot of organisations around their positioning, and we've definitely moved beyond the like peak virtue signalling era where companies feel like, oh, we there's kind of a social tension issue, or there's a progressive area that we need to talk about. I feel like we have to say something. Like the thing that Meta did the other day of being like, we're actually being much more freedom of speech. People are going to be able to say much. I mean, I'm banned from Facebook still. I'm not going to bring it up, but like I'm banned from sharing a picture of someone dressed as Inquisitor Eisenhorn. Still, this account's been completely deleted. So there is like this movement, I think. But my feeling is Games Workshop. There's no way Games Workshop are all sat round thinking and talking and debating about this. And I think if you've invested a lot of your day to day in something that's pretend, you're probably going to have a difficult day. Like that's not a good.
No,
it's not a good way to live your life, is it? I can see both sides of it, because I can see the logic in people getting frustrated at a company virtue signaling, because I hate that. I hate when companies like who is it that does Pride? Massive weapons manufacturer. Is it British? What's that big weapons manufacturer?
Oh, I'm not
BA Systems or something. It's like a massive weapons manufacturer.
Right.
Literally make weapons that like kill people over the world. Which, I mean, fine, whatever. But people need weapons. But they like have a float at gay pride and stuff. You know, so they're kind of like, woo, 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 woo. We bomb everyone. We bomb them all. And you're just like, what are you doing? Just do your thing, but don't have a float. Just go. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous that you're kind of like, woo, and you're like making weapons. And I get frustrated with companies when they say a thing. It's like, oh look, you know,
we're nice. You should trust us.
It's like, no, go away. So that I find despicable. But then at the same time, I also think that like if you put value in something that's pretend and you genuinely get upset about a world that is literally fake. I mean, the whole thing is completely nonsense. Like, no element of 40k is real other than the worlds that we create in our head thinking about it. Like, it's literally pure nonsense. If you put value in that, that's not a good way to live your life. That's not a good path to walk.
Yeah, it's not. And to get super philosophical about it, how your perception of 40k is going to be different to everybody else's perception.
Yeah, I think it's crap. I'm joking.
But like when
I love 40k.
Everyone's mind's different. You're gonna see it and imagine it in the way that you want to imagine it, and that's fine. That's how.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of an imaginary universe. Yeah. That's literally the point, is to pretend however you want it to be.
Yeah.
I guess people. I'm trying to get into the brain of like people that are mega triggered by the idea of a female custodian, and I do see both ways. I hate virtue signaling, and like I do think GW there's an element of that, but at the same time, like I guess people get quite protective over. If we've been playing Games Workshop since we were teenagers, right? And like all these years, we've kind of like invested, and it's our investment in Games Workshop has been financial, but it's also been psychological, because we've spent money and we've bought models and we've sat around with all this stuff, and oh god, look at all these models that we've got.
Yeah.
And our wives have found and stuff. So many models. But also we thought about it so much that we invested so much of our mental energy into it. I think when people then go, oh, you know, all that stuff, you were wrong. There was only that. I can see how some people might find that a very frustrating experience and feel like they're trying to take something from them. It's like all those memories and all those ideas and all those thoughts you've had, they're not, now they're this or now the other. Yeah. And I guess people could feel maybe like protective over that your thoughts, even though it's make-believe, your thoughts of something suddenly could change, and like that would jeopardize your love of the game. I can kind of see that. I can see that, but at the same time, it's all pretend, boys. Pretend something different. And Telly's saying these lads are dancing. That stuff's going hard. Tim, hello, my friend. What have I missed? Has anyone gone in hard on Femstodes being bad? Who are we shaming? We're firing shots at both sides, really. I think we'll come over to chat. I want to hear what you guys think of the whole GW Femstodes thing, but if I'm completely honest about it, I think that GW could not give a flying female custodes about anything around there. I genuinely think the only thing GW care about, and in many ways this is worse than them, like everyone should be angry at them for this, like whether you're like pro or anti Femstodes, like all they care about is how much money they make. And they will say, I think, whatever they feel like they need to say, whether it's the Warhammer is for everyone or the tweet, since the first 10,000 were created, they've always been female custodians. All they're doing there is they're just saying a thing that they think is popular, so that you buy more of their models. They don't care. They've literally, there's no way they're sitting around being like, guys and girls and any other pronoun, the staff meeting, they're going, we really need to take a stance on female custody. There's no way they're just going like, how do we say things that make people buy more plastic?
Yeah, or they're thinking, let's say something that might get people talking, because if it's that old adage, no news is no news is good news is an adage. Not that one.
No, it's not. All press is good press.
That's the one. Yeah.
No news is good news. No news is good news. Every day you get up. No news is good news. Yeah, I think
so. They could be doing that, a bit of that.
Yeah, it's all they care about. All they care about is money. They don't care about female custodians. They don't care about anything. All they care about is what are the things we need to say as a company to make as much money as possible. And I think there's like obviously a sensitivity issue around the darkness of Warhammer 40,000. But if you can't see that it's satirical, I don't even. I'd maybe question whether it's satirical anymore. It's just dark.
Yeah,
it's just dark. It's just
an horrible
in the grim darkness of the far future is only what, and but ultimately, like those worlds aren't real, and I don't think we as people that enjoy the game or the company should have to sensitively kind of step around it. Just own the fact that it is grim and it is dark and it is horrendous. Don't feel like you have to sort of make it feel like it's this it's very progressive. No, it's horrendous. It's an absolute. Yeah. It's a nightmare world.
If I like dystopian settings, and that to me, this is exactly that. It's like this. It's a horrible look at what
totally horrendous.
What things could be like in the future. You never know. If we can all have mind bullets and things like, I don't know. Like it's just cool. It's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
It's a bit of a laugh. Yeah, I think it's a great universe, and I think if I had to, if people were pushing me to come down on one side of it, I'd come down on the.
Here we go.
Just own the fact it's dark, and also.
So here's a question: do you think there should be female custodians or not?
I don't think you need to. I find it a bit like the thing is. So let's say
no.
No, I don't think they should. I'd say no. If I was at Games Workshop and they were like, "You get to decide," I'd just go, "Oh, don't bother with that, lads." I'd go, and lasses, I'd go. But basically, right, the Warhammer 40,000 universe is so unbelievably diverse as it is, right? You've even got like, amputees.
Yeah,
like AdMech are just a faction of war veterans that have had bits of them. They're basically robot men. You've got so like there's so much diversity in Warhammer 40,000. It is mind-boggling.
Yep.
You've got entire factions that are female.
Yep.
And they're amazing factions that loads of people love and play and respect. There's loads of great lore about them. They're very much like front and center of the brand. They're obviously not Space Marine, but they're like they're up there. They're essentially a Space Marine out of the Sisters of Battle.
Yep.
So I just think like
and Guard and Eldar.
Yeah. There's female guard. So it's a thing that I just think you've got one of the most interesting, diverse universes that possibly exists. Why bother? Coming in, why? It's just a waste of time. And I actually think if Games Workshop were to make a decision going forward on female custodians or any other kind of issue, they probably just think what's the point?
Yeah, I think where they've handled it badly is that they've done it. Oh, here's a female custodian, and they clearly didn't realise they'd written that they weren't female in the past.
Yeah.
And what they should have done is immediately address that and be like, oh, it used to be the case, but maybe these are a new thing, or it was really secret and everyone it wasn't really talked about. It was it was so they didn't always take the helmet off, so you just didn't know, and people would just assume, oh wow, no, actually they've always been there, but actually write about it in an interesting and an imaginative way, and write interesting and compelling female characters without just going, oh yeah, they've always been there, haven't they?
Yeah, that's why people...
You are silly if you thought otherwise. Yeah. And I think that's what pisses people off.
Yeah, that was the gaslighting thing that people are annoyed about.
Yeah.
It's like they've always been there.
And you shouldn't feel the way you feel about it. Is I think the sort of what's being said without being said, which is where I think people kind of have a bit of a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, agree.
Because I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said of saying, no, they shouldn't have been there. Personally, I couldn't care less about it either way. I'd either do it or don't do it. But if you're going to do it, treat it that was a really clumsy way of handling it, and they should have write better. Is what I would say. Yeah. Write better,
mate. You're all about writing better. You should have a little pitching with them.
Yeah.
Let's read some of these comments. Telly says, as the whole thing is a fantasy setting and the IP of a company, it's annoying they don't make something new without messing about with lore people have invested in for decades.
Yeah, exactly. Right, better.
That's what you say.
Don't be so clumsy.
I find the Necron rewrite was way more impactful than Femstodes. The entire vibe of the faction changed.
Yeah, it did. I remember, like they've always got almost like moustache twiddling, like villains sort of vibe to them, rather than these cold, heartless machines.
Rather like very different vibes.
Yeah,
yeah. Isn't the one that like goes around collecting things, like just like some mad collector
in like a weird what do they put them in, like cubes or something? I don't know.
I don't know, mate. I'm not the law guy. OnlyFans. I think the real topic of conversation should be the fact that crew don't have buttholes and sweat out their waist. Nice, OnlyFans. So just make the effort to expand the universe. It's got all manner of mutants, sensuality, gender, race, and species in it. It's lazy. They haven't made new stuff.
Yeah,
agree. Spend the money, pay writers, and make something interesting and new within the setting. Looney, as ever, is just a bastion of positivity and kindness that really motivates me to carry on in life. Thanks, Looney. OnlyFans, I think the problem is that the Emps and Custodies are the best they can be. I think the problem is that the Emps and Custodies are the best they can only be men. Oh, right, okay, that's the kind of like, that's why they were like, oh, well, also they could be women. But I mean, men are on average much stronger than women. So if you were going to make the best, you probably would pick a male. Anyway.
Yeah.
Rob says they have done tons of full retcons. Just admit they have changed it for the times.
Yeah.
Tim says, next up on Spike clickbait, Paul North-Beckett Flail hates female custodies. Does he hate all females as well?
Only the chassis ones, that's all.
Yeah. Only the ones that talk a lot. Oh, Christ. So this is, who knows, he's only associated with robots. Very true. Todor says, what stinks about it is it's obvious throw out to a demographic that doesn't seem to exist at the tables. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they do exist. It's just, it's the overwhelming minority of the player base. Like that's just a fact. Yeah. Is it changing? Well, not really, is it? And Return to Your World says, Necrons were always a little too much like Doctor Who villain before the rewrite. And fair enough, I have to walk away from it. Mm-hmm. Should we go talk about people putting baby teeth on models?
It's just such a wrong.
Some of the weirdest shit I've ever found. We're going to talk about it on a members show. Short and long of this, Luke, is that Games Workshop should just focus on making good models and good rules, not get drawn into nonsense. But also, we shouldn't get drawn into nonsense either. Like, don't, and all these videos going like there's some internal war and there's some like big kick-off with them is just absolute. They need to chain Dan Abnett to a desk and just make him write everything. And then be all right. Mate, Dan Abnett's the best. He for sure. Oh, we're gonna do a show on the best. The best books. We're going to do a tier list of the best books. But Dan Abnett, the Law King. He writes a good Warhammer. He does, doesn't he? And he has good representation. Yeah. all about representation. Telly, can we talk about orcs? What do you want us to say about orcs? Easy tiger.
Do you know how orcs produce or reproduce?
Oh, I just find them absolutely. The orc lore is just so dumb. I can't even handle it. I just think it's like, that's probably the most offensive thing I think in Warhammer 40,000.
Well,
it's
orc
just how
lore.
stupid orcs are. Yeah, it kind of like takes away. It makes it almost like just seem stupid, like just comical for me. Orcs, their lore is too stupid, I think, for the universe.
Yeah, but that's
like mushrooms that it's just so dumb. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. You love them though, don't you?
Yeah.
Do orcs have lips? Do orcs have lips, and do you paint them on your minis? I imagine them having red lips, bright red lip, like gremlins. You know, the gremlin paints a lip. Are they kissable? You absolute nutters. Crikey. You love orc lore.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. There's some good orc lore. My favourite one is the one who went to the warp, and he went to like this realm of Khorne, and they basically fought these Khorne demons and then got killed, and then they reawoke, and then they made them fight the Khorne demons again, and they reawoke, and it was supposed to be like a hell. But the orcs are just having the best time of their lives. They're just like, way.
This is absolutely immense. Yeah,
the bloodletter's just like, oh, what?
Yeah, that's amusing. But I don't feel like they really fit in. I don't know. You give me the orc stare down. But okay, fine. Yeah,
they're the light to the dark, aren't they?
We all love orcs.
They're like the they keep you smiling. There's that bit of Have you not read that bit? There's that excerpt in the thing that's something like, we look at the orcs as crude and underdeveloped, but they're basically just like, they figured out what life's all about. They know what they want and they know how to get it. And they've perfected like just being happy and content, and we despise them as crude. And it's like this Eldar philosopher just like looking at them and thinking, like, maybe we've got it the wrong way around. Like, they know what they want. They're ready to take it and just live their best life. And we're just like, oh no.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's more the mushroom thing, I think. Yeah. It's more the like, I don't know. Like, how do they reproduce? Like, just
when they get killed,
they die. They turn into another mushroom.
They sort of goes, the spores go off, and then the spores float. And then they'll...
So they don't have like blood in them and stuff?
They have blood, yeah.
Right.
And they can also regenerate. The theory is that they were some sort of super soldier created possibly by the Eldar to basically...
Oh, I didn't know that. Here we go.
To basically be the ultimate soldier. And whether or not something went wrong, or over the years they've...
Like mutated or something.
Mutated, evolved or something, or devolved into these orcs. They never know. But they have like... race memories as well. So like, if you're a mech and you're born and you just know how to fix stuff, like that's
very handy. Tim says, my favourite thing about them is that they used to be mega psychic race, but have forgotten which is why all their terrible shit work, because they just sink it into existence.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, there's Jack Masters was telling me there's this orc being interrogated by an inquisitor. And he's got this like ridiculous contraption of this like gun or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, Inquisitor. It's not loaded." And he's like, "Okay, we can let him have it." And the orc picks it up and shoots the Inquisitor in the head because he believes it can work. And they're like, "Oh, it wasn't loaded. What the shit?"
Okay, fine. That is quite fun.
Yeah.
And Tanner said, "How do orcs develop the technology to travel in space? They're too stupid."
Just budget. And they believe it. That's why red ones go faster. They paint their trucks red because they believe red makes them faster. And they paint themselves blue because they believe blue is a lucky colour. And
that's a bit
so
strange.
It's this idea.
How did I not know this? I mean, like...
So the sort of joke is they think this stuff is the case, and so it just works.
It becomes the case.
But the sort of proper law reason is actually they were this psychically endowed race, and so they just think this is how stuff is, and they're just living their best life, just like, oh, we'll paint it red and it will go faster. But actually they're willing it into being, literally manifesting it psychically.
Terranord's shouting it's nonsense in
It is nonsense. It is absolutely nonsense. But that's part of the charm. Is all I can say. Or
so
not.
If they like actually paid, like if they just concentrated a bit more, they just take over the galaxy. Yeah. If they weren't always faffing around.
And it's why weird boys, which are the actual psycho orcs, are kind of regarded in a bit of a sort of stay away from them, because if you get too many of them together, they literally like a random head will explode. Like if there are too many of them, because they don't really know how to channel it like properly.
Yeah.
They just get a bit excited, and then if you used to get literally like excerpts of like quotes from Orcs, like, that's the weird boy, don't stand too close to him or your head will explode. Yeah. So yeah, they're just a bit like it's mad. It's absolutely mad.
Are you saying Orcs are the Matrix? They are the Matrix.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
They run the Matrix. Boys, right, let's go talk about
all
people
sorts of horrible
putting weird things on models on the members show. It's nice to be back doing a live show with you, Luke, my friend. Nice to have some people joining us live. If you enjoyed the show, please give us a like, drop us a comment, chat to us on the Discord. We're going to be putting already is a link. If you remember, just click the link and Luke and I'll chat to you on there and play some Northern Boys, some bizarre things.
Oh, yeah.
Some bizarre things I found. Looney, absolutely not. Your comment I genuinely found pretty annoying, so you can stay grey. See you folks in the members. Take it easy. Lovely to catch up with you all. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year. Members, speak to you very shortly, my friends.
Bye.